Alrighty, this is Whitney Lewis, the Coos County Conservation District Manager, and I am here with Stephanie from Uphill Farm in Whitefield. Hi, Steph. It's great to have you here.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
Thank you. It is 23 degrees right now, and we are inside of her high tunnel, and I have a couple questions to ask her today. So, Steph, can you share a little bit of information about your farm? History on when it was founded and what type of operation we have here?
Yeah, so we moved to this property in 2015. We moved in August, and that first fall I got like a very small plot ready to go so I could plant some garlic in there. Didn't do that great, but we've just slowly kind of been expanding the gardens ever since then. I've worked on farms on and off for over almost 20 years now.
That's awesome.
So yeah, it's kind of always in the back of my mind that I wanted to farm, but making that leap of like actually doing it was kind of terrifying.
Yeah.
So it wasn't until the pandemic in 2020 when I no longer had my restaurant job that I decided to kind of go for it. Started attending the Gorham Farmers Market and I've been there ever since. Expanded to include a small CSA in the Randolph-Gorham Berlin area.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
that's
still
great.
Go to the Gorham Farmers Market. And we do mixed vegetable, some small fruit, and ducks and chickens for eggs.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Awesome.
We're certified organic. I do no-till. Yeah, just trying to keep the soil healthy and
best management practices for sure. That's really important.
Yep.
Great.
Yeah.
Awesome. Can you tell us what you have here? Can I zoom in on it real quick?
I have some kale that I started in late summer.
Oh, awesome.
I'll keep it going as long as I can in the winter. Kale is pretty hardy, so it can take pretty cold temperatures. The lower leaves usually start to die, and they're not really growing at this point, but they'll kind of hold over.
Absolutely.
Until the days start getting
look beautiful.
longer again. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Some purple ones down
yeah,
there.
some purple ones. That's pretty neat.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
So one awesome thing was that this year you were a Climate Resilient Grant recipient from the New Hampshire Conservation District's Climate Resilient Grant. Would you like to talk about your project a little bit, please?
Yeah, so we applied to have a well drilled, and in the past we've relied solely on a spring to feed our house and the farm, and while that has mostly kept up with our needs as the farm has gotten a little bit bigger and as our climate seems to be changing a little more, having more like super intense dry spells, our spring just couldn't keep up. So we had always thought about drilling a well, but financially it's kind of a big
That's a big expense, yeah. Investment for sure.
So we kind of kept putting it off, and when we found out about this opportunity, I figured that was a good thing to go for, and we're very lucky to have received it.
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
Had our well drilled just, end of October. So
that's awesome.
Yeah,
I can't wait to come back in the warmer months and check in and see what else you have growing and how the well is really helping with everything.
Yeah, we haven't really gotten to take advantage of it yet. We're definitely looking forward to next season.
That's awesome. Cool.
Plans. Yeah,
definitely. So you kind of mentioned it a little bit. So you hope to utilize the irrigation on your farm, definitely springtime. And you already mentioned what you're doing in the past. So definitely a game changer.
yeah, it's going to be huge.
For sure.
In the past, I've tried to get some help with irrigation funding through NRCS.
Yep.
But we just didn't have the volume of water for a project to make sense.
Right.
So as soon as they found out that we had the grant for the well and that we're going to be drilling a well, I applied for some assistance with the whole irrigation system being funded with them.
Yeah,
and
that's
that got
awesome.
approved this summer. So
yay.
Hopefully this spring we'll be able to get all that
running. Yeah, you'll be all set up and good to go.
So much free time. I'm not gonna be running around with hoses. So.
Definitely. Well, I can't wait to see it.
Yeah.
Awesome. So how will this grant improve your farm's ability to adapt to climate change?
Yeah, as I kind of mentioned before, and people probably noticed, like our weather seems to be going through some extremes. So even though last year was pretty wet, and this year started wet. This
Yeah.
fall was super dry for like 2 months,
Yeah.
and I just wasn't able to keep up with the water that my plants needed.
Yeah.
When they become stressed from not enough water, that can
Yep.
lead to more disease and pest pressure.
Yep.
So being able to water them enough so that they can be healthy, happy plants is definitely
Definitely good.
gonna help me grow probably more, better food
Yeah.
without having to expand more of my garden space, just being able to grow more within the
Absolutely.
space itself.
And be able to provide more to farmers markets
Yep.
and our local food production. That's so important.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Cool. We kind of already touched on how this project will benefit your farm.
Yep.
And let's see, did you come across any challenges along the way during these projects? And what did you do to overcome these challenges?
So we're pretty lucky, nothing major. Well drilling seems to be in pretty high demand, so it definitely
Took a little
took
while.
a long time.
Yeah.
But yeah, besides that, we got really lucky. We hit 15 gallons per minute, only 300 feet down.
Wow.
So,
Good. Well, that's really good.
yeah, the day they came to drill was definitely a stressful day. It's just like,
Absolutely.
where are they going to have to go? Because you hear lots of horror stories.
Right. Yeah, because you really don't know.
Yeah.
Good.
So, yeah, we got lucky. That was the big thing that I think could have maybe been more of a setback. But
Right.
yeah,
Definitely.
besides that, things have gone pretty smoothly so far.
Good.
Yeah.
That's good. We like to hear that.
Yeah.
Would you say there's any other challenges in our county, so Coos County in New Hampshire, or even within our whole state that you'd like other growers, they may be wanting to know more about and how to incorporate irrigation practices to their farm? Like, what can be done to help support these folks? And if they're interested in learning more, what do you suggest to give them for support?
Yeah, I definitely think this climate resilient grant is pretty huge. Definitely,
Awesome.
if anyone is thinking about any type of irrigation project, I think it would be a good route to at least look into further.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
I do think NRCS does cost share for irrigation, but they don't cost share for well drilling, unfortunately. And I don't know if there's a way to
maybe change that, or
change that in
see,
the
ask
future.
the higher ups, hey, this is really
Yeah.
something we need. It'd really be beneficial.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I know in some areas it's probably more needed than others, but I think as a whole across the state, we've just been seeing these crazy temperature swings and more drought
Definitely.
than before. So
Definitely.
yeah.
Definitely. Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that. I appreciate it. Do you have any advice for other farmers who are looking at completing a similar project?
So I have worked a lot. Ashley Newell from NRCS and Will Hastings from Extension were both ones who kind of told me about the grant to begin with, and then encouraged me to apply. Helped me with the whole application process.
Good.
And Ashley has continued to work with me and other folks at NRCS just to come up with a whole irrigation plan. So
Great.
there are definitely resources out there, and reaching out even to the conservation district and just getting more information from them. And
absolutely, we all work together as a team to benefit the producers, so it's great that we're able to all assist. That way you can have the best farm you want, your dreams to come reality. For sure.
Just reaching out and to those resources I think is great.
Absolutely. Thank you. So why is the Conservation District offering this climate resilience grant program important to farmers in Coos, and what are measurable impacts that you can see from this offering?
I think in general, growing in Coos is not the easiest.
I mean, like today it's 23 degrees and somehow there's still things growing. That's great.
If it was super short season, it can be a wild season.
Absolutely.
It's also like an area where there's not a huge amount of market demand, I think. So any ways that groups can help farmers become more resilient and just help with these bigger projects that maybe cost a little bit more than a farmer thinks they can invest in and get a return on.
Right.
But that really helps their operation become more resilient. And I think when farmers are resilient in a community, it helps the whole community be a little bit more resilient.
Right. Absolutely. For sure.
Yeah.
I think you kind of touched on this already, but I was going to ask you, considering the broader scope of climate change, what do you see as long-term benefits and impacts of this grant on other co-op farmers' resilience and viability?
Yeah, I think just coming up with projects that help us be more prepared for not only drought, but we also seem to be getting these intense rainstorms.
Yeah, 100-year rainstorms,
Yeah,
absolutely.
every year.
Yeah, funny how that is.
So yeah, I think projects that could help with like lessening erosion, and just making soil healthy so that it's absorbing that water instead of letting it run off is definitely going to be where farms need to head in the future, I think.
Absolutely, having some stream bank stabilization projects done.
Yep.
For sure.
Working with like cover cropping and
yeah,
all sorts of projects out there that I think can really help farmers be a little more resilient.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, this was really great. I don't know about you, but my fingers are a little chilly, so since it is a little chilly in here. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate your time, and I'm excited to come back to see more things growing in the warmer months.
Yeah.
And I wish you the best of luck in the winter months.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming out.
Thank you.